Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Tim in Green Bay here to talk Packers, Bears. We've already got the inactives and all kinds of news flowing here as we're closing in on kickoff. We're roughly, an hour and a half away, a little less than an hour and a half away. And this is going to be a dandy, I believe, man. And we had a little shake-up here with some Zach Tom news. We'll dive into that first. But before we get into all that, guys, how we feeling about this game going in here? We're about an hour and a half from kickoff. How you feeling?
Belt to ass in Chicago on a Saturday night. Let's go, Pack, go. That's how I'm feeling. How you guys feeling?
I feel like I'm going to throw up.
BTA. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
Jacob is nervous. Tim's confident. And I'm over here going, damn, could we get any worse news? My goodness, boys, right before kickoff, inactive, Zach Tom will not play in this game. And it was kind of weird earlier in the week. You guys know, as we were rolling through the injury report, the coaches seemed like they were fairly confident in Zach Tom playing. But when you heard Zach Tom speak to the media, he was very, very kind of hesitant, right? So obviously that's what ends up happening here as Zach Tom is inactive versus the Bears tonight. So I imagine it'll be Jordan Morgan playing right tackle. And I know people would like to rake Jordan Morgan over the coals a lot, but I did see a stat that came across Twitter a second ago. As a guard, okay, here is Jordan Morgan's numbers. 579 snaps, pretty good sample size, right? 56 offensive PFF grade, 51 run block grade, 62 pass block grade. But as a tackle, 169 snaps, 74.9 offensive grade, 75.2 run block grade, 66.9 pass block grade. So again, from playing guard, 56 PFF grade, playing tackle, 74 PFF grade for our boy Jordan Morgan. So we're going to get to see him at right tackle unless they surprise us and put Kennard out there at right tackle over him. I doubt they'll do that. But what's your all's thoughts on the Zach Tom news here? Obviously, it's a big loss, but man, at this point, next man up. We're used to saying it, right? It's happened all year long. And I guess that's essentially, we talk about putting people on IR. I think we got 16 on IR. I've heard 15. I've heard as little as 15, as many as 17. Nonetheless, there's another starter that's going to be out tonight. But let's go around the horn with that real quick.
I mean, it's definitely a massive blow to the offensive line. I think we've covered it earlier in this week. I believe Clayton's podcast where he talked about when we have Zach Tom in the matchup, in the game, that is, we're 8-2. When he's not in the game, we're 1-5-1. It's pretty simple right there that we obviously lean on him quite a bit to give Jordan Love that type of protection, the type of not having to worry about that right side when he drops back, especially in the pocket. And massive blow. I would just ask you guys, do you think it's something where Zach Tom absolutely can't play through it and that's why they're having him sit out? Or do you think it's something where they're trying to be preventative in the hopes that he will be ready for next week? Do you think that would be a wise move, or is it just what are your thoughts on that?
I think he just isn't ready to go. He's not 100%, and probably not even at a percent. Like if he's 95%, and it's hard to put that exact number. That's stuff that us fans do, right? And the pundits do. No. But my guess is they don't think he could be effective. Jordan Morgan would be more effective than Zach Tom based off of how Zach Tom is feeling right now. And again, this is what happens in a long season, right, Tim? And injuries continue to pile up. It's just next man up, man. I promise you that team ain't going, oh, no, we don't have Zach Tom. I promise you those guys aren't thinking that in the locker room. They're wanting some revenge after the way that last game went. That's for sure, too.
And I'm sure the coaching staff, training staff is probably thinking, why have a repeat of what we did earlier this season where we put him out there and he played one snap and he was done for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or whatever that was. So whatever he's dealing with, you got to hold him out. If he's not good to go, he's not good to go. You're right, Clay. It's next man up. I'm grateful that it's the right side of the line, not the left side of the line. We can rotate and find a way to, protect that right edge of the O-line in the run and pass game. But, and that's not to take anything away from what Jacob's saying, because it's true. You're missing your best offensive lineman. Zach Tom is the best offensive lineman on this team, and he's not playing tonight. You're going to see a setback from that. But it's not Jordan's blind side. I've got faith in Sheed Walker and the boys to protect the blind side, and hopefully next man up on the right end, regardless of who's starting. I'm sure we might even see a rotation over there if things get a little sketchy, but I think this offense can function tonight in Chicago without Zach Tom, and hopefully he is good to go when we get to the divisional round. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and I seen Stephanie in the chat. She had said something along the lines, how we're going to protect Jordan Love. The number one way you protect Jordan Love tonight, run the ball, run it effectively, fire off the ball. They've got a bad run defense. So they're going to try to stack the box, get the ball out of Jordan's hands quick. You guys remember the little check at the line he did the last time Jordan played the Bears, not the game where he got hurt, obviously, with the concussion, but the one before that, checked at the line of Christian Watson, quick slant, ball out fast against the blitz. They love the blitz. However, I think the last time they played the Packers there in whenever it was week 17 or wherever the last time we played them, they said it was the lowest they blitzed all year long. So they kind of took a different approach in that ball game. And keep in mind, the Packers were winning that game pretty handily until the wheels fell off there at the end, kind of had everything, completely go down the crapper there. So that's what I like to see tonight, the ball getting out quick and running the freaking ball all night long. We got the inactives here for tonight. It is wide receiver Dontayvion Wicks, who already had that information. No big news there. Desmond Ridder, he's the emergency third quarterback. All right. Cornerback Jalen Simpson, defensive lineman Colin Oliver, tackle Zach Tom, and wide receiver Jacoby Keeney James. Now, I think they're going with the fifth receiver being, I'm trying to think of who it was. I don't know if his name's Naylor or not, but we had tweeted it out earlier today, I should say, of who it was. Y'all can probably help me in the chat. Nonetheless, it's they must have a little more faith in him than Jacoby Keeney James for sure. But Zach Tom, the big news. Colin Oliver, what this tells me, it's not a big surprise. Like him and Baron Sorrell, listen, there's only so many snaps these guys can get. You got Brenton Cox Jr. in that rotation. You got LVN that's completely healthy now. Baron Sorrell is the thicker of the two when it comes to, Baron Sorrell or Colin Oliver. And obviously the Chicago Bears love to run the rock. They love to play 12 personnel. That's probably why they went with Baron Sorrell, who we seen in the last game where we kind of sat our starters. He became that new 3-tech of the edge defenders that plays inside, right? So I think you'll probably see Baron Sorrell at that 3 to 5 tech a couple of times tonight, I would imagine. But Jacob, what do you think about the inactives? Anything else stick out to you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little surprising seeing Colin Oliver just because it seemed like he had such a spark, played really, really well. But like you said, it's no surprise being that I believe also Baron Sorrell had a great game. And I think that the coach has probably diagnosed what they can and can't do, what they're good at, what they're not. And to your point, maybe using the thicker guy against a more stout run team where they like to try to pound the rock with Monungai and with Swift there. So it does make sense. I would have liked to see him get his little shot. I think that he earned it, but and then, obviously Zach Tom's a major issue. And we talked earlier today about the loss of Dontayvion Wicks, how that's maybe a little more underrated than most people would think. But, we got a lot of studs in that wide receiver room. So if there's a position group where we can afford to maybe lose a guy, I hate saying it that way, but it's definitely wide receiver. We got a lot of talented bodies in that room.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe we're talking about Isaiah Nair, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I like him, dude.
Yeah. Kind of a bigger target, which is good if you're, thinking about Jacoby Keeney James, who was a pretty big target last week for us. So I think, it's all hands on deck, right? I think the biggest loss right here, other than Zach Tom, is probably, Tay Wicks and Colin Oliver. You'd like to see, one or two of those guys playing tonight. Unfortunately, they're not going to be a go, and we just got to step up, man. It's win or go home football.
Yeah, Nair is 6'4", according to our lads. 6'4", 218 pounds. So they're probably looking at somebody who can dig out those safeties a little bit in the run game. I imagine they went with him over someone smaller is probably the game plan there. Let's switch gears now and talk about the Bears inactive list that dropped just a second ago. listen, they're pretty healthy, guys. They've played this thing just right and gotten healthy as they've gotten later on in the season. The big loss here is that one of their starters, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Not a huge loss, but whether you think he's a good player or not, he was definitely a starter on that defense, that defensive back, cornerback. So Ja'Day Walker, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, the linebacker that we haven't been able to say his name all week. We'll just call him Amen. All right. Luke Newman, Case Keenum, Ruben Hippolyte, and Joe
Wait,
Trump.
what? Case Keenum's not playing tonight? Oh, man, the Bears are screwed, dude. They are so screwed. No Case Keenum.
So C.J. Gardner-Johnson being out obviously is the big one there. What's your all's take? You got anything you want to add to the Bears inactives here?
I mean, they're pretty healthy, man. Like you said, it's pretty tough. Obviously, me and Tim have joked how we wish C.J. Gardner-Johnson was in the game just so we could kind of maybe have a couple pot shots at him and maybe give him a little payback for being such a whiny little you-know-what. But Ja'Day Walker showed some promise, coming in when Rome Odunze was out and they had to kind of scrounge. He looked like he was a pretty decent baller. But, other than that, like you said, other than every time I see Case Keenum, I think, okay, Casey.
There you go. Tim, you got anything else on the Bears inactives?
No, I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson's probably the biggest one, like you said, Clay. A guy that I think we all wanted to see on the field tonight just to roast him one more time, but unfortunately he's not playing.
Yeah. So Wendell Ferreira just tweeted this out a few minutes ago, actually just a minute ago, said Packers players who won't play tonight because of injury. So this is what we're talking about it being an uphill battle, right? You're missing Micah Parsons, your most expensive player, right? Your best player on your team, I think we would all agree on. Tucker Kraft having a breakout year at tight end. Zach Tom, your starting right tackle, some think are all pro caliber. Dontayvion Wicks, your fourth best wide receiver on the roster. And you guys know all it takes is you break a shoelace. Now you're down to the fourth receiver in your 11 personnel. Nate Hobbs, supposed to be one of the key free agent acquisitions this last offseason, right at cornerback. He's out. Elton Jenkins, your starting center, former all-pro guard that we moved to center. Obviously, he's been out for some time now. Savion Williams, your third-round pick that you expected to contribute in many ways. He's one of those guys, could be a return guy. He's a bigger body receiver that had a great contested catch rate in college. He can also run jet sweeps. He can play a little wildcat quarter. He does everything, right? We've seen him line him up in the backfield as a halfback this year as well. Him not being out there. And then, of course, Bo Melton, arguably your best special teams player. So this is what we were talking about a few weeks ago, man. You're kind of running out of steam. You're running out of gas. But these dudes, if there's anything that we got going for us as Packer fans and obviously the Packers in that locker room, it's, man, what else could go wrong, right? And the chips are stacked against us. I've seen a number. I think it's 72% of the public money is on the Bears and the spread. So nobody's really giving them a chance. I know the Packers are, favorites, as they like to say, but that's all about getting the money where you need it at, right? And over 70% of the money on the spread, I looked up the number. I think it's roughly 42% success rate for the public when more than 70% of the money is on one particular team going against the house. So that is what we have going for us. And the fact that nobody's really giving you a chance to win this ballgame other than what I heard earlier. Somebody said Terry Bradshaw picked the Packers. Everybody else literally took the Bears across the board. So go out there and prove them wrong, man. How much grit you got in your ass. Go out there and play with a chip on your shoulder, play aggressive. If you get penalized, you get penalized. But don't you dare go out there playing scared or feel like, oh, no, we don't want to lay an egg. It ain't about that. Yeah. It's about going out there and trying to smack somebody in the mouth tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, this team hasn't won a football game in a month, right? We're going to go out there tonight with the attitude that we need to win a damn football game. We haven't done it in over a month. Go out and win the game. It's that simple, right? We're playing football tonight. We can, talk all we want and, break down the matchups, who's in, who's out, whatever. It's 11-on-11 football, prime time, win or go home. Go out there and put belt to ass, win a damn game.
Yeah, I think David Bakhtiari said it best here. Jacob, he just tweeted this out. All right. He said mood. Obviously, that was his last game against the Bears at Soldier Field, flipping the bird to the Chicago Bears crowd. And you guys remember earlier this year when the Panthers beat the Packers by 3 points and everybody was like, the Panthers are horrible. It's tied up right now 17-17 in the third quarter, 4 minutes left against the Rams. They're giving the Rams all they want in this ball game. So, again, it's the National Football League, boys. There is no easy win. I think it's hilarious that a team that everybody pretended like Matt LaFleur should – not everybody. a loud portion of the fan base pretending like Matt LaFleur should be fired because he lost to the Panthers. All of a sudden, you've got the Rams over here struggling to take that one as well. So there you go. It looks like they just kicked the field goal, went ahead 20-17, 42-yard attempt is happening on my screen right now. That is a thick kicker out there, let me tell you, boys. That's a thick kicker. So, all right.
Anything of the times, right? You're not your record. Your record doesn't mean ass right now. It's do or die playoff football, right? You know, any given Sunday or Saturday night, you know, that's all it is.
Exactly. And Wes Heikowitz tweeted out, here we go, Packers, Bears, NFC Wildcard. You can see the weather has moved out. It's a beautiful night in Chicago. Probably going to be a little breezy. Look at those flags right there, right? You'll probably get
that almost looks like a playing surface. It almost looks like an actual football field. You see that?
You remember the days, Tim, where it literally looked like they threw sod down, didn't try to pack it or anything. They just threw chunks of sod down. Like, all right, boys, go have at it. So it's going to be a clear night out there, Jacob. What's Jordan Love's over under? Do you have any idea on that?
I do actually. Yeah. I was just going to say one more thing too. Just kind of about them coming in. They know what's in front of them. They know that if they win tonight, they're going to play Seattle, and they kind of, have a little bit of, I don't say it's an advantage, but they know exactly what's in front of them, what's expected of them. So I hope they just come out with the absolute piece so hot that they might want to see a doctor. Anyways, Jordan Love's over under is 223.5 passing yards.
What'd you say? 223.5?
223.5.
All right. Okay.
Soder clearing it up in the chat. That is paint, Tim. Gallons of paint.
Seriously, it looks kind of like it.
Ron Sandville says dirt painted green. That's right.
It does kind of look like that, honestly.
It really does, yeah. So 223.5. I feel pretty good about Jordan Love hitting the over there, to be honest with you, man. The weather isn't going to be too much of a factor. Christian Watson's as healthy as he's been in a long time. You've seen Jaden Reed out there just now as we're showing Jordan Love warming up. This is Ryan Wood tweeted this out just a few moments ago. So yeah, I think they're fairly healthy at wide receiver other than Dontayvion Wicks. If everybody stays healthy tonight, if everybody stays on the field, I really like Jaden Reed to have a little breakout game in this ball game, to be honest with you, man. I want to see the climbs come back. I want to see the crossers. That's what I want to see tonight. And you got to protect Jordan Love to hit that second window if you want to hit that explosive on a crosser. So really excited to see exactly how that'll roll. Holmes says there will be snow and wind in Chicago intermittently throughout the game. I just got a Chicago winter weather advisory. So thank you for that, Holmes. Appreciate it, man, because it looks like the sky there is completely clear, but you guys know how it is up there in Chicago and up where Tim's at in Green Bay, man. Things can change really, really quick. But how do you feel about Jordan Love hitting that over tonight, Tim? 223.5 passing yards.
I think we got to, right? I think we got to if we want to win this ball game. We got to run the ball, but I would take the over on Jordan for sure. We got to establish a run game, but Jordan's got to get the ball out quick, fast, and in a hurry, and then take shots where you can. But, yeah, I think he hits the over tonight. He might hit that 300 burger plus. You never know.
Jacob, how do you feel about the over there, man?
I do agree with that, yeah. I think that in a situation – it just depends, I guess, on the game and if that weather does end up and the wind becomes a factor. Because I saw somewhere still that they're talking gusts of up to like 25, maybe even a little bit larger, which obviously it's not called the Windy City for nothing. But the thing that's a little interesting to me is even though they have him slated at 222, they also have Jacobs slated at 80 yards rushing, which
over
80.5. So, you know what I mean?
The over.
Yeah, breaking news.
Would it be?
The snow is back.
Oh.
As Takowitz just said, we have snow at Soldier Field. So just as soon as we said it can change quick, and Holmes gave the update, there is snow falling at Soldier Field.
Right on time with the Josh Jacobs over. What was the over under? 80 what?
80.5.
Yeah, over. For sure.
Imagine if this just completely changes and turns into a freaking blizzard, and we look up at halftime and literally there's 2 inches of snow on there. How cool would that be for a playoff game? Be absolutely awesome. Most people hear that and they go, well, that would hurt the passing game, right? Actually, it does not. That's a big misconception when people think the snow affects the passing game. There's an old clip of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick talking about that, like, oh, they'll never cover in this crap. It's much, much harder to cover as a defensive back than it is to run routes to catch a football in the snow. But I have a feeling it won't be that much of a factor. I wish it were, because, man, there's nothing better than a good snow game, playoff football. This is what the Bears fans, what pisses me off the most about the Bears, is them getting soft and taking this away from the NFC North because they're looking to play in a dome as soon as possible, right? They're trying to build a dome. That's what they're trying to get funding for and everything. And this is what you're going to end up missing. It just sucks. It really does. So it looks like there's just a snow shower right now. And the percentage chance of snow through the hours here is starting right now, 97, 59, 51, 24, 15. So more than by the time we kick off here at 7 p.m. Central, there's about a 60% chance of snow roughly, and it'll be 50% probably well into right around halftime. So that's exciting stuff.
Absolutely. And like you said, I mean, the wind might be more of a factor than anything, especially in the passing game, having a ball sail on you, or the kicking game maybe. And I can tell you what we got up here today in Green Bay was a lot of frothy, wet, slushy, sloppy type of snow. So if it's anything like that down in Chi-Town, it's going to be slick on that playing surface. So protect the football, right? Protect the football, protect the football, protect the football tonight.
Yeah, and Alec over on X, his Twitter handle is at ALEC_332, said McManus just hit from 60 to 64 yards with ease for the Packers in warmups. I don't know which way they were going. He didn't specify, but he's hitting from 60 to 64 is pretty wild. So maybe the wind's at the back on one side of the field for sure.
We got a lot of Ben Johnson. He was just watching, and that was his reaction right there.
Right. Jacob, is there any other running backs with over-unders by chance?
There is, yeah. Right now, Josh Jacobs, like I said, 80.5. Emmanuel Wilson is at 14.5. Mr. Kyle Manungai is at 40.5, and DeAndre Swift 58.5.
So what was E. Wilson's?
14.5.
I'm hammering that.
Yeah.
I think I like that better than the Jacobs over, to be honest.
And honestly, one that's sneaky on Prize Picks, Chris Brooks, 1.5 yards.
Oh my God, over.
And it's got a devil on there, so that means that the odds are increased on that one because for whatever reason they think that we're not going to go to him, or so.
No.
It's a fun one. Just if you're trying to put together a parlay, I was just doing one while you guys were talking, so forgive me if I repeat something.
over on all of our running backs for sure, right?
Yeah, I kind of
like Clay said, that Emmanuel Wilson one's intriguing, right? I bet he gets that on 2 carries today.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. Now, what about the receiver over under here? Jacob, what we got there, man?
Yeah, this one was a little surprising to me. Jaden Reed's only at 35.5. Romeo Dobbs, they just downgraded him to 35.5 as well. Christian Watson is at 57.5. Mr. Luke Musgrave stays on his feet, hopefully. He's got 18.5. Matthew Golden's only at 13.5. Josh Jacobs, 13.5. And Josh Wiley's at 8.5. And they got Mr. Chris Brooks at 4.5.
I like the Matthew Golden over with Dontayvion Wicks out.
I like that one too. That one seems, yeah.
So I could see coupling Chris Brooks, the Chris Brooks over with the Matthew Golden over. That feels really, really good. Honestly, I'd probably throw E-Will in there as well, especially if the
scared money don't make money.
That's right, Coach. Rob Domofsky just tweeted this out. Really coming down now with the snow.
Oh, wow.
Starting to pick up a little bit. Gonna be an exciting night.
Yeah, that looks like my morning up here in Green Bay today. It's like the snow and the rain can't make up their mind what it wants to be, so it's kind of both right now.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Any other over-unders? What about Caleb Williams? Jacob, what do they got his over-under set at passing yards?
Yeah, so Prize Picks, if you guys are looking to build a lineup, every now and then they'll give you a gift. So they have his original set was 206.5, but they give you a 0.5. So basically they're giving you a gimme. So if you want to pair that together with the Brooks and what was the other one that you really, really liked there? The Matthew Golden. I mean, that's the start of a pretty nice parlay. Not that you guys should gamble. All right. Take that money, give it to charity or bet the house, whatever one, But yeah, 206.5. What about can I give you some of their receivers? Because I thought this was a little interesting too. It seems like they don't quite know who to label as their number one, which is interesting. So Colson Loveland has the highest one at 46.5. Roma Dunze 32.5. Luther Burden at 40.5. Cole Kmet 13.5. DeAndre Swift 12.5. And Kyle Manungai at only 4.5. That one sounds like an interesting one too.
Kyle Manungai.
His receiving is tough.
4.5 receiving yards, Jacob. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
Got you. What's his over-under on rushing? You probably said it. I apologize.
I believe it was 40. Let's see here again. 41.5.
41.5. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't remember seeing very many highlights of him catching the football. You know what I mean? He's just that power back type guy. Not that he can't. That does seem like an extremely low number, though. Might be able to couple that together as well, because you're probably going to see a lot of different running backs rotating in and out tonight if they do have to go run heavy with the snow. So, how cool is this, man?
That's awesome, dude.
What else? What else do you need as a Packer fan, man? Packers, Bears, you're in the play, even with all these freaking injuries. We just laid out how many starters that they're missing, and you're still in the playoffs playing your number one division rival. Snowfall. I mean, it don't get any better than that. I've been working on the draft board all day, guys. Life is good, man. Life is good.
And boys, breaking news here. The Panthers just intercepted Matt Stafford. Big time turnover here.
Yeah. His hand is bothering him bad right now.
Yes, something happened.
So, yes, sir. That happened on a 3rd and 12 too, right? I'll call it to you. We'll relive it here. It's a tray right look, sidecar left. Stafford out of the gun. They're bringing 4 with a green dog. Throws to the left, try to hit an out route. That was a horrible decision. It was going to Devontae Adams too. Horrible decision by Matt Stafford.
You think God never farted?
Cut him and fire McVay, right? Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. So, a couple of insights here, real quick, and I'll continue on Twitter and say, is it cool if we just let the snow roll like this? All right,
I love it. Yeah,
I'm digging it. It's kind of set the mood here, right? So, matchup insights from NFL Pro: the Bears blitz at their lowest rate in any game this season in Week 16 against the Packers at 16.1%. In Week 14 against the Packers, they blitzed their 4th highest rate this season at 42.3%, but generated pressure on just 23.1% of those dropbacks, surrendering 2 touchdowns when blitzing. So first time they faced, blitzed the hell out of Love. They lost, right? Second time they faced, they held off on the blitz, and they ended up winning the game. However, I think we would all agree that first half, it's kind of a fluky way that they won that game overall. Don't you think, Tim? Like when you hear, okay, we lost in that second game, they're probably not going to blitz because that was successful. Wasn't really that successful, to be honest with you, man. The way we dominated that game the majority of the day.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. What do you got over there, Jacob? What's going on?
Panthers just took a giant chunk out of what they had to do going downfield. It's now a 1st and goal after, I would say, probably about a 50-yard play right there.
Yeah,
I think it was Jalen Coker, if I'm not mistaken.
They were showing the replay playback too, Tim. It looks like Matt Stafford banged his hand again. Really hard.
Oh, my goodness.
That was on the interception. So I said it was a bad decision, bad throw, but his hand did get hit. He couldn't really follow through. So 2nd and 9 here for the Panthers. This is probably the play that you just seen, Jacob, I would imagine. Bryce Young back to pass. Hammers across the middle. Big gain. I see why you were pumping your fist now, all the way down to the 8-yard line. And, yeah, that was Coker, wasn't it? So, Coker, I hardly know her. The next one here, get us covered censoring Tim over here now. Unbelievable, man. Robert Crowley, will the Packers defer tonight? I don't know, man. I can never figure it out. I can never guess those things. I'm a big defer guy, but I understand. I know this is a boring argument or a boring stance. I would always defer. I like getting the ball in the second half. What I would choose if I won the toss, I want to make sure we got the wind at our back as best as we can in the 4th quarter. That's the most important decision to me. And then hopefully you can get the ball after halftime. But again, I know why teams go out there and they want the ball first, because if you score first, if you take the lead first, your chances of winning go up dramatically. And that's what they're trying to do. And you've got more success of going down and scoring with the openers, right, that you've got called, the 15 scripted plays, 20 scripted plays, whatever it is, as opposed to, later on in the game. So how do you guys feel? Would you defer or what?
Oh, I'm with you, Clayton. 99.9% of the time, I'm a defer guy. Give me the ball in the second half, put our defense out there, get a 3 and out, and put our offense right on the field type of vibe. But my gut tonight, looking at this shot from Soldier Field, take the damn ball and go march down the field and put 7 on the board right away. And let's make them play from behind. I think tonight I'm taking the football if I win the toss. What do you think?
You could tell here too, like there's no way of knowing if the wind's going to be at your back with this kind of weather. Great point. Rolling like crazy. But go ahead, Jake. What do you think, man?
Honestly, this is making me more sick than anything, having to think about this decision if I actually had to do it.
Keyron's in the chat. Take the ball. Yeah. Take the ball. I'm with you. Let's go.
I still think I would maybe defer just because I really like, it just feels like one, if you are able to take the ball down the field, I think it's a daunting task to be able to do that just off the bat. If you can, I think, it's a definite momentum setter. But on the other hand, if you get stuffed and you do a 3 and out, I feel like that's such a spark for them. And then right away, they have an advantage going into that second half. So to me, I'm going to probably play it a little more safe and say defer, take it in the second half.
Nice. I'm looking at the future forecast here in terms of the Doppler, if you will. And it does look like it's going to move out and then it blimps right back up. So it's going to be one of those things that the moisture is kind of coming down off of the lake a little bit, catching the stream and just forming. It's going to be awesome, dude. I think you're going to get a heavy snow game here. Talking about the blitz, right? Why are the Packers so effective against the blitz? Packers running backs have ranked in the top 12 in pressure rate allowed in all 7 seasons under Matt LaFleur, including this season, 7.6%, which is the 4th lowest pressure rate allowed when it comes to the running backs allowing pressure. So again, big reason why Matt LaFleur's offenses are so good against the blitz is because they spend a lot of time on those running backs picking up those blocks for sure. So
no block, no rock.
In that same vein there, another statistic, the Bears used a mug alignment with at least one of their linebackers in the A-gap on 16% of the snaps against all other teams other than the Packers, which would have been the 6th highest rate in the NFL. Against the Packers, they did so on 9% of the snaps and just 4.3% of the snaps in the second matchup in Week 16. So it dropped from 9% in their first matchup, mugging the A-gap, all the way down to 4% in the second one. So very, very interesting statistic there as well. Let's see what Packer Doug says here. I think we got some breaking news. He says weather forecast changed in the hourly. Snow is going to stay same or get worse. Take the ball while the field is relatively snow free. That's a good point, right? Get it before everything gets covered. So great point there, Doug. Appreciate it, man. We got us winter football, dude. I cannot.
That's so jacked, but I want to die.
We're already at that point too where they're not going to cover that field. It's too late to target, right? So let's just go. Let's play football outdoors like it's meant to be played. Let's go.
Honestly think this is the ghost of Curly Lambeau and Papa Bear Hallis going, give him a little snow down there. Sprinkle a little down there on them. Let's do this thing.
It.
Yeah. I'm going to comb through and look at the news. Jacob, you got anything else you want to hit in the chat or anything that you're thinking right now?
Just I was going to get you guys in the chat maybe, and Tim, your thoughts. Just the receptions is one that I always think that is interesting for the over-unders. They've got Christian Watson at only 3.5, Jaden Reed 3.5, Romeo Dobbs 2.5, Luke Musgrave 2.5, Josh Jacobs 1.5, Matthew Golden 1.5, Brooks 0.5, Josh Wiley 1.5, Emmanuel Wilson 0.5. It sounds so easy, doesn't it, before you make these bets, and then all of a sudden when the game's done, it's like, that didn't go anywhere like I thought it was going to go.
It's so true, and now we're getting another look at Soldier Field. Is this the updated look at Soldier Field?
The updated look. This just came out from Bill Huber. So Bill Huber just tweeted this out. So
yeah, so I would take overs on most of those, but the ones that are kind of on the fringe, so to speak, I would probably take the under. You never know. This could be a ground and pound game. This could be a 10-3 football game written all over it. Looking at what we're seeing right now.
That's a good point, man. Somebody asked me today earlier at work, like, what do you got for a point score? And I'm like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, just come on, give it to me. And I said, 27-24 Packers. But now, like you said, it's almost like a 13-10, 10-7, like 9-17. Yeah, like just something crazy stupid. Yeah. This is honestly, I mean, as much as I'm pooping my pants right now, this is so awesome. And I'm so excited. Win or lose, this is going to be one heck of a game to watch, man. I hope I don't toss my cookies. I have thrown up before games multiple times, but this is just how fun is this, guys? Like, this is just exactly what we've waited for all year.
I feel like I've said this before, and I don't want to be repetitive, but tonight I really feel it in my heart of hearts that the team whose defense plays better is going to win this game. Period, point blank. I have no doubt that Jordan and the boys are going to put points on the board. The question is our defense going to answer the call tonight and shut the door on this Bears team and get us the dub? That's where I'm at.
We actually have a shot here. I'm going to try to screenshot it.
Andy Dubs, 4-2, 3 safeties.
I love it. How many innings? I'm going to extra innings.
Yeah, right.
So we got a shot here real quick of I want to give you guys a look at this. Guess who's in the building tonight, boys? Guess who's in the building? You ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. Coming in on
who?
Micah Parsons is in the house, baby.
Let's go.
Get it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And look at our boy Trayvon Diggs over there with the jacket, man.
We talked about this, right? I said I had a feeling. I said the minute this guy is able to be up and around this football team, he's going to be there. And here's Micah in Chi-Town. I love it. Your spiritual leader on that defense right now. Guy can barely walk, and he's doing it. I love it.
Jacob, I was told that he's a bad teammate, bro. I was told that he
bad locker room guy, Clay.
Yeah, can't play the run. He's a bad locker room guy. Dude, all he cares about is his podcast. And hell, he gets here, he doesn't do a podcast anymore, right? It's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable how quickly things change for sure. So go ahead, Jake. You good?
Yeah, sorry. Just like Tim says, he's just the second that dude couldn't move, he's like, I'm going to be with the team. And I'm sure, the coaches probably are like, we'd rather you just probably sit down, dude, and rest that $50 million per year, whatever it is, leg. But he's like, nah, I'm going to be there. And that he's going to be motivating him on the sidelines. That because, the thing is if we were to do the impossible, run the gamut and win a Super Bowl, he deserves that ring. It's not like one of those guys that came in for a game or two. Like that dude set us up for an absolute run that we're on now. We've seen what happen once we lost him, how important he was to the whole franchise in general. Like, so it's really nice to see him coming along and literally gimping his way to just make sure he can support his team. How cool is that?
I love it. These guys in Chicago better not be playing around with our sideline heaters tonight. I don't want to see any nonsense on that sideline. I don't want Micah's leg freezing up on him. Hopefully the heaters are in full force tonight and they're not playing games.
Yeah, I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You know what I'm saying? Ain't happening. Another cool nugget here. Jordan Love versus the Bears defense. Jordan Love had at least 215 yards passing in each of his last 3 complete games, including a 234-yard outing against the Bears in Week 14. In his 3 career playoff games, Love has averaged 226 passing yards. In 2025, the Bears allowed 227.2 passing yards per game, the 3rd most allowed by a playoff team in 2025, the 22nd in pass defense. So again, the over-under, Jacob, was 223.5, right? Love has averaged 226 passing yards throughout his career, and the Bears have allowed 227 this season. I know it's only a 4-yard difference from the over-under, but Vegas knows what they're doing there, boy. They get it right there on the cusp, don't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's so, I don't want to get in any type of stuff in the pregame show, but it is odd how close they are with almost every single over-under. It's crazy. I mean, every now and then, obviously, tonight, Puka's just crushing it. I'm pretty sure he's already surpassed, but they definitely know that whatever algorithm they're punching into those robots, they're spitting out usually some pretty accurate numbers there. But, that's why Vegas, they say the house always wins, right?
That's right. I was always told that's how they can afford to give away those free drinks with the pretty little
umbrella. Exactly.
That's the way it works. So Josh Jacobs eclipsed 70 yards rushing in 8 of 15 games played this season, including 86 against the Bears in Week 14 when Jacobs had 20 carries and a rushing touchdown. All right. In the 4 games, Jacob has had 20-plus carries in 2025. He's 70 rushing yards each time. The Bears allowed 5 yards per carry in 2025. That's 29th best in the league, the 2nd highest rate of a playoff team this season. So a little nugget there on Josh Jacobs. Now, if we were to, all right, what's a positive for the Bears and their offense? Colston Loveland is a damn dog. I'm just telling you, going back and watching his tape this week, I spent a little extra time. And this dude's a real deal. And it's not a huge surprise or anything. We talked about him in the draft process. And you guys can go back and I think Emilio is you could probably find the draft link from last year, our final draft link, where you can go look at all these grades from last year and kind of compare and contrast to where players are at this year. But nonetheless, we had Ty Warren from Penn State as our top tight end and Colston Loveland at number 2, right? And Ty Warren had a score of 8.4, low number wins. Colston Loveland 13.1. So again, Ty Warren was off to a great start there in Indianapolis this year. Colston Loveland's a real deal. Here's a key statistic. Colston Loveland has recorded at least 40 receiving yards in 3 of his last 4 games, including back-to-back games of 90-plus receiving yards in Week 17 and 18, the first time he's done so in his career. Since Week 9, Colston Loveland has averaged 6.4 yards per game, 6.4 targets per game. I was like, that's cheeks, which he's turned into 59.7 receiving yards per game up from 3 targets and 19.3 yards between weeks 1 and 8. So that is the guy, in my opinion. Him and Luther Burden are the two you really want to try to stop, but you can't take your eye off of DJ Moore, and obviously Roma Dunze is now back. How healthy is he? Time will tell. Maybe he'll play a quarter, maybe he'll be good to go the whole game and be fine, but they're definitely at full strength when it comes to their passing attack.
Yeah, you got to account for those targets, right, Clay? And like you said, we don't shadow guys, right? We're not going to pull somebody off their assignment just to match them up. With a tight end or a receiver because they're the hot hand. I think we have to just play our game, play within the scheme, and account for these guys because, Luther Burden is a guy that can gash you hard. And in Colston Loveland, we've seen it both pass and run game, right? He can get out there and block like a dog, and he's a hell of a pass catching threat as well. So I think we just have to stay within the scheme, be disciplined, don't freelance out there, just do your damn job. And hopefully we can account for these guys because the minute you start to, maybe dedicate, double teams or dedicate some help or move guys around to account for one target, you could end up, leaving somebody else open. And I think we're better off just playing them straight up today. I don't know. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like to your point, I think the biggest difference maker that I'm really looking forward to in this passing defense and just the defense in general is the fact that Evan Williams is back. I think that really he is kind of a difference maker, even though he's so young, even though, people, when we originally obviously drafted him, a lot of us thought, that maybe he didn't have the coverage skills needed, thought maybe he was a thumper, a human meat missile, if you will. But there were some parts of his game that we thought were maybe not up to NFL caliber level. I think that he's completely shown us that he's going to be a top safety in this league. I think to quote Jeff Hafley, he said he's going to be an elite safety at one point, elite player. And having him in this
Matt LaFleur and just say that
he's a grown ass man now. And
attaboy. I just think that him being in this lineup in general is going to help this whole defense in a way because, like his whole thing, it sounds like that he's taken a page out of Hafley's book about how he's such a leader because he's a great communicator. And he knows how to actually, he's not barking at people. He's not telling them what to do. He's explaining what to do. And, being a safety, that seems like, the quarterback of the defense, that and the middle linebacker, green dot type situation. But I think that I would bet that he has more communication than maybe Quay does. Quay's probably throwing out the plays and stuff. But as far as setting that formation and in the secondary and, getting the safeties and the cornerbacks on the same page pre-snap, I don't think there's anybody better that's doing it than Evan Williams right now. And the way that he's also able to just sacrifice his body and kind of throw it around and make plays in the running game is something I think too that's going to help us a ton in this game.
I agree. That's what makes our safety room so good, whether it's X or Williams. I mean, those guys and Bullard, right? You talk about 3 safeties that can play in the box at the drop of a dime whenever you need it. Those are your guys for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, it looks like the snow has slowed down now, moved out for the moment. Again, it's showing it's going to project and swirl back in. We'll see if that actually happens, but that's an up-to-date shot of it. You see not much snow falling now. The field still fairly covered. Here was Brandon McManus from 57. Let's see how good this was.
Good enough. We'll take that.
That's right. Probably had an extra 2 or 3 yards in it, right? So 57. I would say 55. Probably going to be your limit to feel really good about him, having enough leg to get it down there. But again, if the ground continues to get covered with snow, going to be all bets off with that for sure. How do y'all feel about this one coming down to a potential field goal? I would not be surprised one bit. It being a 2. Some people have it a 1.5 point game. Others have 2. Others have 2.5. Like NFL Pro has it at 2.5. I think last I checked, PFF had it at 2. But what do y'all think about this one coming down to a 1-score game?
I trust McManus, man. I really do. He is no stranger to kicking in harsh environments. He's no stranger to game on the line in the postseason and needing one. I just hope that it's well within 50 yards, looking at the field and looking at the night we're having. If it comes down to a kick, you get a long field goal like this, you see him hitting from 57 in warmups. It's another thing with game on the line and, guys running at your face while you're trying to kick in the elements. So I'm hoping if it does come to that it's not from the logo. I'm hoping it's well within range for Brandon McManus.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unfortunately, I agree with that because I think it will probably cardiac pack, whatever you want to call it, heart attack bear. What do they call Caleb? Cardiac Caleb or whatever. So
Caleb, yeah.
It's unfortunately, I think it could come down to a field goal. And like Tim said, if the conditions are getting worse and worse, I'm going to feel a lot less good about the fact if they're, 50 and plus. But to quote another guy in the chat, I can't remember if it was Holmes or somebody, don't sleep on their guy Santos too. Last time we played him, I think he had a 50-yarder, a 40-yarder, and a 30-yarder. So, and that was in some pretty swirling winds.
Yeah. Holmes in the chat said, Caleb isn't accurate on a sunny day. I'm not too concerned, much more so about our run D. I would agree with the second part. I'm more concerned about us stopping the run than I am, stopping Caleb. However, Caleb has grown on me a lot, man. He's playing way better football now the second half of the season. He's matured a lot. He's acting like a leader now. I think I think that's trending in the right direction, if you will. And again, man, you can't. I'm not going to refuse to acknowledge that throw he made over Keyshawn. Everybody's talking about, Keyshawn allowing DJ Moore to get behind him on that game winner in overtime, the previous matchup. But boys, that was a perfect throw and a hell of a catch too. Like Keyshawn got there probably a little early. They could have flagged it, but I mean, he's all over him when the ball gets there, and it's a perfect throw, perfect catch. Sometimes you just can't beat that, right? So, anything you guys want to add here to the Caleb Williams talk?
I mean, that's why we talk about keeping him inside the pocket, right? Because I feel like Caleb gets better when he rolls left or rolls right, probably more so to his right. But he's able to look down the field, and he throws pretty good on the run. If you force him to stand there in the pocket and read and scan and don't let him wiggle out, you got a chance to make a play on the football. But I'm with you, Clay. I mean, I'll never, miss an opportunity to talk a little trash about a Chicago Bears quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I do think that calling Caleb Williams, cheeks is crazy. You're not watching football if you really believe that. To say that he's not a good quarterback is crazy. I wouldn't take him over Jay Money. No way, no how. However, you would be underestimating your enemy if you didn't give him his props, and you can see the maturity and the growth, from last year to this year. And maybe some of that is due to, new coach and new system, Ben Johnson working with him, whatever you want to call it. But Caleb on the run, being mobile, run and gun, that's not what you want. You want to keep him inside the tackles, inside the pocket, and, hopefully make him make a mistake or get a tip ball at the line, something like that for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of this quarterback matchup here, here's how PFF has it matched up. Jordan Love, in quarterback comparison, Jordan Love's PFF grade 88.5, Caleb Williams 75.5. Passer rating when clean, Jordan Love 128.8, Caleb Williams 99.4. However, Caleb is better under pressure. We've seen him scramble and make plays all year long. Again, this isn't necessarily against the blitz. It's whether they blitz or not, it's when the quarterback receives pressure. Jordan Love's passer rating under pressure 46.7. Caleb Williams is 68.8. So that's something that he's definitely got the advantage on Jordan in. Big time throw percentage, Jordan Love 5.1%, Caleb Williams 4.1%. Turnover worthy plays, Jordan Love and Caleb Williams are neck and neck here. 2.69 for Jordan Love, 2.67 for Caleb. So we've heard all year how Caleb's protected the ball. Not many people have talked about how Jordan Love's protected the ball. And again, this is probably going to come down to a turnover. Whoever wins +1 in the turnover differential, probably going to win this ball game, I would imagine. Power rating for these quarterbacks. Jordan Love has the edge at 4.5, Caleb Williams at 2.5. Power rating rank, Jordan Love is 9th in the league according to PFF. Caleb is 19th in the league. Jacob, I kind of agree with those numbers. There's nothing there that I see that I go, no, I disagree with it, including the passer rating under pressure, because when pressure hits Jordan, right, he's willing to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball, but sometimes he's got to kind of short arm it or just do, sometimes you just got to live to play another down. How many times have we seen Jordan Love throw the ball away? It usually don't happen, right? So typically what ends up happening is either the pressure hits home for a sack or the ball, like I said, is probably a turnover worthy, throw. But he's going to stand in there and take a lick. That's for sure. I mean, that's what happened in the last game against Chicago, getting that concussion, right? Stepping up and trying to make something else happen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, to be honest, it's not often that a lot of people would encourage their quarterback to maybe use their legs a little more than they do. But to your point, I mean, he almost, I don't want to say to a fault, but he's a pass first quarterback. He's not just trying to sit out there and be mobile. Like quarterbacks in the past that maybe I wouldn't say they're a one-trick pony or nothing like that, but guys that absolutely think they're going to run first, look to scramble, use their arm talent to get them out of a bind, kind of a quarterback. That's not what Jordan Love does. His metrics, the way that his footwork has changed, the way his dynamics, his hitch, everything has gotten so clean. And obviously learning from Aaron Rodgers, there's like imperfections, but it's perfection at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's just that weird difference, but you can just see him kind of mimicking the Favre and the Rodgers mannerisms that have kind of almost been passed down like a freaking family heirloom, which is cool to watch, right? But there are also certain things that, you know, at times I wish Jordan would, hey, just get out of the pocket, man, scramble, save yourself even just a couple more seconds, and if you have to throw the ball away, throw the ball away. But to be fair, on the opposite side of that coin, Caleb does the same stuff in a different way. He tries to scramble almost immediately, it seems like, almost runs around. That's when he gets himself in trouble, in my opinion, is when he just starts kind of being chaotic, trying to make a play. But to his point, you know, he has that arm talent where he can just chuck it up in the air, and he has enough velocity and accuracy at times where he can make that play happen. But to go back to what our one of our game plans should be is put him in that pocket, make him be an actual NFL quarterback. We've talked about that many times. Let's see it happen.
Maintain your edge, right? Maintain the edge. Don't break contain, and also understand what this, you know, field may or may not be like. You know, it could be a slick surface. You talk about mobility for, you know, quarterbacks scrambling. It might work to our advantage if we can stay disciplined. And if he wants to roll out there, maybe he's not as light on his toes on a slick surface at that, you know, lovely, pristine Soldier Field playing surface. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, H.E. Solder with the super chat. Thank you so much, Solder. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, I really need the Pack to knock that smug off of Ben Johnson's face early. Then they need to do that a couple of dozen more times. Completely.
Get ready to go.
I can't stand the way Ben Johnson operates. I hate it's just so fake. You know,
I hate your face.
The shot, that little floor in the preseason, or, you know, when he got, not the preseason, but when he got hired, and just the taking his shirt off in the locker room, you know, what are we doing here? What are we, you know what I'm saying? It's just weird. It just screams, you know what it reminds me of? And for those of you that are a little bit older, like me and Tim, you grew up in the 90s, man, you know, hip hop was it, right? I mean, we were so spoiled. I cannot listen to hip hop today. I'm like, this is absolute trash. Like, we grew up with Tupac and Biggie, and I'm telling, I mean, you know, NWA back in the day, just all, I mean,
DMX.
I was going to say DMX, bro.
And you know what it reminds me of, though? It reminds me of Diddy. Remember how Diddy was all in and everything? He always wanted it to be about him. You know what I'm talking about, Tim? You know what I'm talking about?
Compare Ben Johnson to Diddy.
Yep. I get it.
Seriously, right?
Shug talked about it at the Source Wars.
Exactly.
All in the videos, all in the camera.
If you don't want your label owner, if you don't want your producer, all up in the videos, all trying to get on your song, come to death row. Right? That's what he said.
That's right.
And we're saying F the Bears as a crew, a staff, and a record label. That's what we're on today. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just, So anyway, there you go. Who's replacing Tom Kennard is what Wolfpack asked. I imagine it's Jordan Morgan. Jordan Morgan, we talked about it earlier. PFF grade playing guard is in the 50s. It jumps all the way into the 70s on like 160 snaps playing tackle. I think it will be our boy Jordan Morgan playing tackle tonight. Mrs. Green chimes in. Ben Johnson Diddy comparison is a strong stance in 2026, and I'm here for it. That's so true, man.
Love
you know, they got the baby oil flowing in the locker room in Chi-Town. You know that.
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
Oh, it's the perfect drop, Tim. You're crushing it tonight, dude. Need to get you a raise, my man. All right. Packer Doug said Diddy. Never mind. Yeah. Damn, Dave said I like Diddy more than I like Diddy more than Ben Johnson. I think I kind of agree with that. Oh God, man. All right, so KK down the podcast. See, yeah, this is your all's fault. I'm not. You're the one who brung Diddy up, Jacob.
What?
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
All right, let's see here. As I hop back on Twitter, see if any news is broke. I see what's trending over here. VPNs and Ice Watch. Good stuff. All right, that's what's going on Twitter right now. No worries there. Nothing to see here. Nice. Trying to see if there's any Marcus Ebersol with the tweet of the night, I believe. Green Bay Packers obviously tweeted 56 minutes ago, Zach Tom is out. Marcus Eversole quote tweeted and said, no, please take Alan Kirk instead, talking about Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on the call. So, oh, man. All right, so here's another one.
Okay, Al Michaels is he signed up for another year. We got another season.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, is it you think the players are nervous? You think the coaches are nervous? Is Jacob the only person nervous? No, he's not. Matt Schneidman tweeted out, referee accidentally just announced to the stadium that this is the NFC Championship game during the pregame mock check. So everybody's off the rails, and I think everybody got a little ditty in them tonight. You know what I'm saying? So another key statistic here: Montez Sweat recorded 4 turnovers caused by pressure in the regular season, tied for third most by any defender. The Bears defender gained the most EPA, a plus 171.1. That's astronomical. And the most win probability at plus 361.3% on turnovers in the 2025 regular season. You're wondering why turnovers are blimped so much. One of the big reasons is Montez Sweat. Listen, he's not a superstar by no stretch of the imagination, but this guy has been a difference maker. There's no two ways about that. If we hop over here and look at their defensive lineup real quick, just to see how they shake out, you see Montez Sweat up to a 70.9 now on the season. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit for y'all. 70.9. He's definitely their best defender on the front there. And another one, too, is Tremaine Edwards. A lot of people aren't talking about him. He got healthy toward the back side of the season. And here's a key statistic on him. Tremaine Edmonds has totaled 9 passes defended. That's tied 4th most amongst linebackers, and 4 interceptions. That's 3rd most. So he's definitely been a difference maker. He's still been targeted on 15.5% of the coverage snaps, above the position average of 13%, and his completion percentage allowed is 75.4%, just above the position average at 74.5%. So it's kind of a boomer bust player there when it comes to Tremaine Edmonds. Forcing some turnovers, just like Montez Sweat. It's like they're getting the most bang for their buck when they do make a play, if that makes sense. So that's just a couple of players that you want to look out for there. And obviously they got Byard at safety position, 14th highest graded safety. I think they got him from Tennessee, if I remember correctly. It seemed like he was in Tennessee for a while. Could be wrong there, but
real quick, little update with the Rams winning 27-24. The Rams just had to punt around their 40. The Carolina Panthers just blocked it. They are going to take the ball over with a few minutes left on the clock, and they just had a massive turnover there.
Overloaded left. The pressure got home from the right, from the punt team's perspective. Yeah, punt got blocked. Tim, fire Rich Bisaccia's ass. You know what I mean? The way it works around here.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
This is a great game, as Stephanie just said. It's a hell of a game. 4 minutes left. Rams lead 27-24. Like Jacob said, the Panthers have the ball deep in Rams territory. Yeah. Boy, what did Bryce Young go? Oh, Jacob just seen something I did not. I'll call it, Jacob. Heard the enthusiasm. All right, I'm going to call it here for us real quick. Let's get this off the screen real quick. All right, they're showing the pump block like 1,800 times. So you must be way ahead of me. Now I got to get me some antennas now, man. I get me some.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a blessing and a curse, because everyone that you tell to, they're like, "Shut up, dude. I don't want to know yet."
Seriously, I'm way behind you now. How did that happen? Showing Sean McVay cussing out Rich Bisaccia on the phone. All right, here we go. All right, Carolina Panthers in the pistol formation. Looks like 12 personnel. They're going to go twin left, nub right. Oh, a little RPO slant. Who was it, Jacob? Tell him who it was.
Was that Tet McMillan?
Tet McMillan. He about said a bad word on the show here, sir. Tet McMillan with the first down there. So, yeah, Panthers are in control. So, all right.
Great example of what we talked about earlier, right? Who gives a damn what your season looked like? Are you in the show? Are you in the playoffs? It's anybody's game at any given time. You are not your record at all.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Just got to give yourself a shot, man. Just got to get in the show here for sure. All right, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Out of the pistol again. They're going to hand it off this time. Going to pick up about, look at him pushing the pile here, Jacob. About 7 or 8 yards on that carry, sir. He's still grinning. Give us an update. Go ahead. What happened next play? Tell us, Jacob.
It's not awesome. It was a little rollout pass. It got blocked at the line, but they did have I think it was a tight end that was going on the out route. Would have been nice, but the DN made a good play, got his hand on the ball, battered down.
He can block.
He can. Where is Emilio, by the way? The guy's texting us in the group chat. Freaking loser.
All I know is Ice is trending on Twitter and Amelia is not here. That's all I got to say. Coincidence? I think not.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Right. Thank you, Bob. All right. Anything else y'all want to hit before we wrap up here, boys? Anything at all?
Bell to ass. Go, Pack, go. That's what I want to hit on right there.
You know what we'll do right now? Celebrate a Carolina touchdown right now.
Let's go. Go, Panthers.
Coker.
Coker. Early or all right. So yeah, we're good. Panthers are in the driver's seat now. Will they hold on? That's the question. So let's go ahead and sign off right there so everybody can go finish watching this game. Go grab you a beverage, get ready for kickoff. Parting thoughts, gentlemen. Anything at all you want to hit before we wrap up?
No stupid penalties. Protect the football. Run the damn football. Be disciplined. Play good defense. Stay within the scheme. No freelancing. I hope to God we don't see man coverages tonight. Keep it in front of you. And Pack wins this game probably by a touchdown or less. But we get the dub tonight, and that's all that matters, right? Go, Pack, go.
What a touchdown throw that was by Bryce Young. That's on the money.
Go ahead, Jake. That was a dime. They just did make the extra point, too, so it's up 31-27. They're going to have 2:39, though, for the Rams to move down the field, which is more than enough. They got three timeouts. If the Packers do what we've talked about the last two games, like Tim said, keep the penalties to a minimum. What's now going to be a bigger ice skating uphill type battle is the offensive line. Not having Zach Tom is going to be a massive, massive thing. But we have seen that this offensive line, when they want to get their crap together, they can actually move the pile. We got a healthy Josh Jacobs. I think we have the healthiest team we've had since around week 6. It's up for guys now to get out there, take it, put the game on their shoulders, put the game on their backs, dude. You know what I mean? And that kind of stuff. And they really do have to just kind of find a different fire that they have lacked this last month of football. I mean, we are literally looking at David and Goliath type odds right now. But I believe that if any team can do it, we can do it. With the weather that's coming into, it's going to be a gritty, hard-nosed, old-school football game. It's just whether or not we're going to want it more than they do, and that's just going to be, win or lose. We'll be here for the post-game show. I hope that we'll be celebrating a victory.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Like you said, whether the Packers win tonight or lose, we will be here in the post-game show. And if it's the end of the season, we'll jump right into the off-season talk, start getting everybody ready for free agency and the draft. The show goes on, but we're hoping we're celebrating the Packers win. And the real show actually goes on, if you know what I mean. So appreciate everybody jumping in here in the chat and hanging out with us. We had a huge crowd tonight. I want to give a special shout-out to H.E. Solder. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. You are the man. Everybody go enjoy the game. The post-game show link is already created on the YouTube page. Just click on the YouTube channel. You'll see it listed as a post-game show. Jump in there and use the chat as the in-game chat. I'll be hanging out in there as well. And then as soon as the game's over, we'll go live immediately. So appreciate everybody's time. For Tim, for Jacob, thank you all. We will see y'all on the post-game show. Take care.
Here we go.
We're out.
Bye, guys.